Hello, folks. So, in this video, I wanted to talk about UPI outages and issues. So, today is April 12th, it's a Saturday, and I was even making a video about how there's an issue in my UPI payment which caused problems in paying for my electricity bill. The thing is, looks like I was not the only one who was affected. So, looks like there was a lot of people. There was this UPI outage that happened. Several users say transactions failing, right? So, I mean, one. So, in this case, as you can see, it's like UPI outages for several users, and they say that transactions are failing, and it's apparently an issue with National Payments Corporation of India (NPCI), which manages the UPI, which is Unified Payment Interface. So it says working to resolve intermittent technical issues. This is the second UPI outage in April, excluding the routine issues faced by certain banks on their platform at the closing of the financial year. So, if you scroll down, you can actually see, uh, stuff about how multiple reports have been there of failure in transactions across the country, and so the NPCI has acknowledged the outage and said that it's working to resolve the issue and all that. And the Twitter comment, one moment, that's weird. Let me reload this page. So the Twitter comment by NPCI says that it's currently facing intermittent issues and technical issues, so leading to partial UPI transaction declines, and we are working to resolve the issue. We'll keep you updated. Regret the inconvenience caused. All this is fine. Apparently, according to this website called Down Detector, which helps you to report issues like something is down. Interestingly, I think people have reported to it, and interestingly, it says that only 2,300 people at least have reported, but maybe more were actually affected. I don't know, and maybe we can go and check it out now. So, you just type Down Detector. So, down detector. So, maybe check options. Outages. Okay. So UPI. I'm looking at India, so this is UPI. Okay. NPCI. Okay. So this is Rupee. Interesting. Can I say phone pay? Okay, they don't have phone pay. So they have multiple here. Let's see if they have UPI and PhonePe. There's no PhonePe. Is there UPI or Steam? Union or Udemy? No UPI. And Paytm, PayPal is there. Google Pay. Yeah, Google Pay is there. Let's try Google Pay and see what it says. Indicate possible problems at Google Pay. So this was since, can we actually look at the time? One report, 70 reports, 153 reports, 458 reports. It has come down now. What about Paytm? Yeah, even Paytm has had problems. Anyways, the thing is this, right? So when it comes to UPI, I've noticed this one crazy thing in recent times, especially. Let's say you go to a shop where you need to get an item, right? And you need to pay immediately to get the item, assuming you want the item at that time. And let's say you're in a hurry of sorts, or you're not in a hurry, but you need to pay at that time to leave the place. It's like a merchant shop, and you need to pay, and then you get the goods and you go away. So unlike online, website payment, but both won't be much different. The things that you do is the same. You either scan a QR code which gives you a UPI ID, or you actually have the UPI ID yourself and you just pay to that UPI ID, right? So, for example, today morning I was paying for this Bangalore electricity supply company limited, and the error or the information that I got was, payment has started in Google Pay. This is what it's a payment has started. If Bangalore's electricity supply company limited doesn't receive the payment, you will be refunded. So it can or cannot receive the payment. It's in processing status. I have it here. It's in processing status since 12:05 p.m. It's already 3:52 p.m. So it's been like more than 3 hours 47 minutes. So it's been more than 3 hours 50 minutes, around 3 hours 50 minutes now. And it's still in a processing state. So when you are in a merchant shop, in a point of sale place where you need to pay to get the goods, if you can't wait for more than a minute or 2 or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, then you need a response immediately, actually, right? For example, one moment. For example, let's say give me a moment. Okay, so for example, let's say let's say you have your phone, and Um, just this. Let's say you have your phone and you need to pay someone, like, there's you, and there is some service, right, that you need to pay, some business, right, some business fee. Now, if you can't pay, right, if you can't pay using, let's say, your bank one, bank one, and it says if the money has gone, then you know uh, if the money has gone, just go ahead and wait. Maybe it will succeed or it will fail or whatever, or you know so it will say something like either it will succeed, business, and let's say use bank one. If it says processing, and it will either succeed or it will fail. Success, or failure, like, and it takes a lot of time, like you don't know how much time it will even take to actually get the response of will it be successful or will it be a failure, right? You just can't keep waiting indefinitely. Ideally, I would expect it to actually say success immediately or failure immediately. Basically, give me one of these responses instead of saying something like it's processing, waiting for confirmation. If the money uh, has not gone to the business, then you will receive a refund. Or else it's possible that the money goes, like it can fail or it can actually go to the person. You never know until sometime. Now you need the goods. Either, let's say you don't take the goods. The business person says the payment confirmation is not there. It's not successful. I also have not received it on my end. And in your end also it says it is still processing. Let's say the money has left your account. That is also possible, right? But nowhere it says successful in the UPI app or for the receiver on their app. Or if they have a speaker which is connected to the internet and all that, which gets information and tells has the money been received or not. Now, let's say they don't give the goods to you, and let's say you just need to leave because you don't know when this payment will succeed or fail or whatever, right? Let's say you paid 100 rupees, right? And you just are like, okay, I'll get the goods later because some UPI issue. Multiple times you try and it just same thing happens. So you just leave, and all of the transactions that you did are in processing state. Later, what happens? Processing or pending state, right? In phone pay it says pending. I think in Google Pay it says processing or something. Let's say what happens. Let's say you go home or you go back. You leave the place where you are paying. And what happens when all of these transactions, multiple times that you tried, succeed? I mean, usually it won't. At least that's what Google Pay says. That usually in such cases, money does not, go to the receiver, and or money is sometimes not even taken up out of your bank account. And if it's taken out and usually it doesn't go to the receiver or something happens, and basically you'll get back the money. Usually it will fail as what Google Pay says. Let's say if it succeeds or you think that it could succeed, what do? Right? Weirdly, if it succeeds and you have tried multiple times and it succeeds multiple times, you didn't get the goods that you wanted, or and you have already paid for it either once or multiple times. That's a very, very bad experience, right? So ideally, I would expect the thing to be like to say immediately that cancel because I didn't get the goods, right? Either on your side cancel it, or on both sides, receiver and the sender, you and the business cancel, saying that no transaction happened between us in the real world. So we don't want this money to get out of the sender's account and go to the receiver's account and whatnot, right? And let's say what happens when you say get the goods, right? Even though it says processing, and you come back home and it's failed. Now it's a problem for the receiver. The person has given away the goods, but they didn't get the money, right? And the craziest part is this: let's say you have some other way to pay. Let's say you have hard cash or you have a card or whatever, right? And you're able to pay somehow. Let's say it's not some issue for all banks. Maybe it's just an issue for your bank or the receiver's bank, one of the receiver's banks or one of your banks. If it's all banks, then you will just probably just use some card or whatever, right? Or maybe UPI Lite or something that works, right? If that also doesn't work, maybe you'll just use cash or card, credit card, debit card, whatever it is, right? So you have another mode of payment. So you pay it off, or you have some other bank account where it's working, UPI is working, and you pay it off. So you have paid once and it shows successful, and the second time and the previous times it was all failed or it was all processing, right? You get the goods and you go back, and the processing ones now say succeeded. Now you have paid multiple times for the goods that you've got or the services that you've got, right? That doesn't make sense. Now that's also a problem, right? So ideally, I would want a system where you can immediately say that okay, this doesn't seem to be processing, cancel it. But Google says Google cannot cancel payments because it is starting from the sender side and it's ending up in the receiver's side, and you really can't do anything. Like Google cannot do anything in between. So that's a problematic situation. I mean, I understand there are multiple reasons for this to be the case. Like there is no intermediary where the money goes and then it goes to Google and then it goes to the receiver and whatnot. I get that. I mean, I'm assuming that's how it is. Like it doesn't go to Google or whatever. It goes directly to the receiver, right? It's like using Google Pay and same for phone pay and whatnot. It goes directly. It's a end-to-end peer-to-peer thing, and there's no middle person or middle entity, except the banks being involved between us. That's all, right? Then I mean, at least either when I start the transaction, I should be able to say I want to make an immediate transaction where I get to know the result immediately. Either it succeeds or it fails. I don't want to do all this retry behind the scenes, right? Multiple retries or whatever it is. For it to say it's processing, it could succeed or it could fail, right? And the other thing that I've felt is, apart from these UPI issues, sometimes let's say you have UPI issues, but your friend doesn't have UPI issues. Let's say they have a different bank and that bank is working, and you're at the store and you need to pay, but you need to get your friends' help, or let's say your parents' help, or whatever, someone else's help. I think UPI could start having a way for you to request money from someone else, and it can go to the receiver. For example, you scan the QR code, and then the request. I mean, you see the what is the UPI ID and how much to, like you type out how much to pay. Instead of you paying, you just request someone else to pay. Right, and then you call them and tell just pay, and they just pay it off. Instead, what currently happens is you actually take a picture of the QR code, or you ask the UPI ID, and then you send the UPI ID to the friend or whatever, or your parent, like whoever is going to pay for you because you're not able to pay for some reason. Either you don't have the money or some UPI issue for your bank, but unlike the other person's bank. And they take the QR code and they use it to send money. I think if you use an image to get the QR code, then you can only send 2000. So instead, you probably even extract the UPI ID from the QR code and then type in the UPI ID and then send money, more than 2000 or whatever you want. And then the receiver being like, okay, I got the money. Maybe if there's a way to actually just send a request, right, that would be great. And I mean, this whole idea of like it taking too much time, to send money, that would be better if it's possible to actually tell immediately that hey, money didn't get sent and we will not retry anymore, we'll just fail this, and any money debited or sent to the receiver just will be refunded, because you want to mark this as cancelled because for some reason it didn't show that it succeeded, so we would rather just fail it and then get all the money back, reverse all the transactions or whatever happened, right? Reverse all the actions that happened, and undo it. So yeah, I mean, ideally, I would expect UPI to be better. I know UPI is a great thing in India and a few other places. UPI is working out. It's a pretty popular thing, very easy way to pay for stuff and all. And now we have credit cards on UPI, RuPay credit cards, and probably in the future more credit cards might come in. So it's becoming very easy to actually spend money and all. But then when there are failures like this and retries and all this processing state and pending state, which causes problems for the users and the receivers, like senders and the receivers of the money, it's a headache. So it can be pretty problematic, and everyone has started using UPI. People use hard cash less and less. They use either UPI or cards. They don't use hard cash much. If you're techie, tech savvy, and are either middle class or even poor or rich, a lot of people are using UPI and all these digital payments methods, net banking, UPI, everything, but unlike hard cash. So yeah, I mean, ideally I would expect the payment systems to be better, where it clearly says immediately if it succeeded or if it fails, right? So that usually this kind of timer I usually see in the receiver's end, usually online. When I'm paying on a website, it says there are 5 minutes for you to pay this payment, and in that 5 minutes, if it doesn't succeed, then you just get back the money of something of sorts. So I want this to be at the UPI level itself, right, where there is a timer, and if it doesn't go in that time, it has to come back to you. Yeah, so that's all I had for this video, talking about UPI and the failures and successes. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.